Okay, so here's what you're going to learn in this training video. First up, we're going to talk about the multitasking myth and why doing multiple things at once has now been proven to reduce your productivity and quality of results. We'll then talk about why overcomplication leads to overwhelm and why the art of minimalism is the surefire way to success. Then, we'll discuss how to give 100% to everything you do using single-pointed focus to maximize every opportunity that comes your way. Then finally, we'll show you how to use 3 simple yet proven single-pointed focus strategies that are easy to apply for you to strengthen your level of attention. So let's talk about multitasking. We all know this and have heard it hundreds of times before. To work efficiently, we have to give our undivided attention to just one thing at a time. And yet, how often do we fall into the trap of doing a million things at once? Eating dinner in front of the TV with our laptop open, often while browsing Twitter and Facebook, in between studying, sending a few emails, and using instant messenger to chat to friends. So, how often do you stop to ask yourself, is this constant switching between your digital devices actually giving you the result you want? Or could this behavior actually be slowing you down or compromising your level of talent and your true potential? Well, what you're about to learn in this module is that despite the idea of multitasking sounding very appealing in our time-poor world, it is in fact one of the fastest ways to not only lose focus, but to also get shoddy results and not really get the most out of your precious time and energy each day. So rather than multitasking, here in Clarity Class, we believe it's so important to get into the healthy habit of taking a single task at a time and giving it your full, undivided, passionate and positive attention. Because the thing is, when you're trying to do multiple things at once, you're not really giving anything 100% of your energy and focus. Think about it. Are you really listening to what you have decided is important and giving your undivided attention to that idea, project, or goal? More than likely, you're instead trying to desperately juggle a few projects at a time, which compromises the quality of each thing you're working towards, and in the end, you may only see limited results. Now, it's great to be a multi-passionate person and have many interests, but remember that your mind is only capable of processing one thought at a time. So to really focus your mind, you have to create the self-control to step back and dedicate time and energy to one activity at a time to see the best results through to the end. This means giving at least 100% of your passionate time and energy to focus on just one thing. It's about committing to spending the time on that one thing, giving it your all, and staying passionate and fully present in the moment while you concentrate on the one thing that you have decided to work on. Let's take a look now at the difference between multitasking and concentration so you can get clarity around how you focus your attention. The definition of multitasking is the practice or capability of handling more than one task at the same time, and the human attempt to do simultaneously as many things as possible, as quickly as possible, preferably while using the power of as many technologies as possible. On the other hand, the definition of concentration is the action or power of focusing one's attention or mental effort and dealing with one particular thing above all others. Now, you may think you can multitask your way to success, but I'm here to help you learn how to focus, and I'm recommending you really look at your ability to concentrate when you multitask so you can discover that there is a better, more effective way to take action. So here's the thing, over the years I bet you have learnt to multitask so well that you still manage to get things done. You complete assignments, pass exams, submit reports, send emails, all while being on forums or spending time on social media sites at the same time. But there is a scary question to address here. Could you have weakened your ability to focus in the process? The scary thing is that often the better you may be appearing at juggling activities, the more you're actually risking losing focus and getting the best results from your life. Now, we all want to feel like Superwoman sometimes, like Alicia Keys' famous Superwoman lyrics. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on my vest with an S on my chest, oh yes, I'm a superwoman. But you see, feeling like a superwoman might look desirable on the surface, but unfortunately trying to please everybody and juggling a million things at once will only weaken your ability to focus on one ball at a time. And then it only becomes a matter of time until you feel burnout, exhausted, and could make a critical mistake that you might regret. So it's important to not fall into the trap of thinking that I'll get more done by multitasking. Remember, your life is about spending quality time, energy, money, and passion on things that feel worthwhile to you. If you begin to compromise your results to try to overcompensate and do everything at once, unfortunately, it is inevitable that something's got to give. Contrary to popular belief, multitasking is actually a sign of weakness. It's a sign you are burdening yourself with overcomplication and placing unrealistic expectations on yourself, which leads to unwanted stress, anxiety, and eventually burnout. It's like the friend you have who spreads herself too thinly trying to be everything to everyone. She's juggling this, that, and the other thing, and at the end of the day, there is never any time left for her to put her feet up and think about herself. Well, here's the thing, unless you focus on one thing at a time, cracks will begin to emerge in your life as you realize that you aren't giving anything the time it truly deserves. We all want to look and feel confident and capable to the world. However, if underneath you are on the verge of burnout, in desperate need of a holiday, and unable to take time out to simply relax and unwind, this superwoman spirit can cause additional stress, anxiety, and pressure to be all things to all people. So what you really need to do is to take a step back and understand the difference between what looks productive on the surface and what is really helping you achieve quality results and, most importantly, giving you quality of life. Now, when it comes to multitasking, one of the most common places we fall into this bad habit is working from a computer, tablet, or smartphone. But just because you're multitasking doesn't mean you're actually getting more work done. In fact, research from Rescue Time, a time tracking technology company based in Seattle, actually tracks how workers use their computers during the day. And they found that chronic task switches are much less productive. Here is the part of the infographic published in the Harvard Review, which takes you through an average workday in the life of two people, a serial multitasker and one who is more focused. As you can see, the blue line is tracking a woman who gets right to work instead of multitasking and easing her way into the day by emailing, surfing the web, or checking social media pages. She makes few task switches, and when she does, she keeps distractions short and sweet. In this 1 hour, the research shows that she totals more than 40 minutes of productive work, which is pretty good. Now, take a look at the red line. This is tracking a guy who is clearly unfocused and unproductive. He's away from his desk to start the day. Maybe he's grabbing a coffee. Then he starts his computer time with music, video games, and social media sites. Typical things that we feel we may be able to multitask with. The research shows that his longest period of focus are spent on the most unproductive tasks. And for this 1 hour alone, he only totals about 5.5 minutes of actual productive work. Okay, so that's just one example of the negative effects of multitasking. But according to a recent study by Ohio State University, the most common reason people fall into the habit of multitasking in the first place is that on some level it makes us all feel good in the moment. The researcher from the study, Zhen Wang, discovered that people who multitask are not being more productive, they just feel more emotionally satisfied from their work. Again, this comes back to feeling like a superwoman. Zen found that if we study with our books open, watch TV at the same time, and text friends every so often, we feel a sense of fulfillment. We get everything done at once and feel incredibly efficient. The study found that although students who engaged heavily in multitasking activities feel great, their results were much worse than those of people who didn't multitask. So here's the thing, the danger is that multitasking may help us to check off more things on our to-do list and takes us back to that notion of feeling like a superwoman on the surface, but it also makes us more prone to making mistakes, more likely to miss important information and cues, and less likely to retain information in working memory, which could impair problem-solving abilities and creativity. As author David Strayer succinctly put it, the people who multitask the most tend to be impulsive, sensation-seeking, overconfident of their multitasking abilities, and they tend to be less capable of actually multitasking. So let's take a look and see how much of a multitasker you are in daily life. Which of these daily situations feels familiar to you? Reading a blog while watching the TV while eating dinner, checking your message from your smartphone while listening to a manager in a team meeting while drinking coffee and taking notes, eating out with friends while texting to other friends or checking social media pages, working on the computer with 10 different tabs open, flicking from one tab and screen to the next while checking your email while on instant messenger, driving to work while having a coffee, while applying mascara, or reading a text waiting for the light to turn green. Okay, so if you can relate to any of these, you're obviously a multitasker, and the more regularly you create these types of actions, the more at risk you are of losing focus and concentration. So now we're going to take a look at the difference between multitasking and single-pointed focus to help you decide what's going to give you the best results in your life to get the success you deserve. By seeing the pros and cons of both multitasking and single-pointed focus back to back, it'll help you see why it's so important to lose the habit of multitasking and instead practice single-pointed focus now. So let's first take a look at the downside of multitasking in a nutshell. Scientific research concludes that multitasking will, over time, make it harder for you to connect with people on a deeper level, make you miss out on opportunities for growth and success, make it easier for you to create mistakes and lower your productivity level, make you produce less desirable long-term results, unintentionally put you in dangerous situations and others, especially while driving, and make you feel more impatient and dissatisfied with your expectations of life and people. So think about it, are these really the qualities you want to encourage in your life? Or is it time to practice single-pointed focus? Changing to this approach will help you more effectively and easily communicate your thoughts and ideas to others, help you formulate and choose the best decisions for your life every day, help you create more meaningful relationships with friends and family, help you start and finish activities with less distraction and top results, help you retain more information and knowledge, and help you live with a passionate commitment to your own happiness. Okay, so obviously you want to overcome multitasking madness and get the advantage of single-pointed focus. Now let's discuss 3 simple focus techniques that you can implement immediately into your day that take little time and effort but will definitely give you more results and strengthen your focus. So there are 3 primary ways we'll discuss how you can start to shift your thinking style. Number 1, placing your attention. Number 2, single tab browsing. And number 3, planning your day ahead. So let's discuss the first exercise, which is placing your attention. This first exercise is pretty simple, but it can start to really shift the way you look at things in your life. And I'm not just talking about objects, I'm talking about the way you look at your choices, the challenges you may face, or understanding another person's point of view. It's all about placing your attention on gaining perspective and looking at something with a fresh set of lenses. It's like taking something and changing the Instagram effect. A photo that once looked old and dull or boring and lifeless can suddenly magically become fresh and new again. You begin to look at the picture differently because suddenly a new lens was used to filter different light into the image. So this exercise is really about describing an object close to you and looking at it from a different angle. So find an object close to you right now. It could be as simple as a cup, a computer mouse, a USB, or even a lip gloss tube. Whatever it happens to be, just pick it up and really begin to look at it. Imagine you had to describe it to somebody over the phone right now without actually telling them what it was. What would you say? Is it smooth or sharp? Describe the shape, the feel, the texture, and the colour. What is the object's purpose? Who does it help? Practice focusing on one different object today. This simple exercise will greatly enhance your ability to focus on one thing for longer periods of time. Each day, just look around and zoom in and place your attention on one object at a time. This will help you practice creating more sustained attention in anything you choose to focus on. You can even apply this same exercise to the food you eat. Really spend time paying attention to the food on your plate and what you drink. Look at your lunch or dinner. Look at the texture, the shape, and the colour of the meal. Does it taste salty, sweet, bitter, or strong? Is it chewy or soft? You can also start to describe the way a person sounds to enhance your attention skills. Really spend time listening to what other people around you say. Stay present in the conversation rather than letting your mind wander. What is the message the person is trying to convey to you? What descriptive or emotional words does the person use? Does the person speak loudly or gently? Is the sound of their voice high-pitched or low-pitched? Now, the second exercise is to practice single tab browsing. So let's talk about what this is and how to start. Single tab browsing is one of the best ways to stay focused online. Single tab browsing will help give you the discipline to develop a more productive work and study method online that specifically focuses on looking at one thing at a time. So to begin, you just need to only allow yourself to access one tab being open at a time. It's simple really. This forces your mind to pay attention and direct energy to just one page at a time. For example, rather than having your email open, a Word document, social media tabs and other web browsers all open at once, you have to consciously choose which tab is the most important, and this way you can dedicate at least 20 minutes of uninterrupted time to one task at a time. Now, I know that at first this practice will feel very challenging for you, but once you free yourself from the curiosity to click open another tab, you will feel totally liberated, knowing that you have actually given yourself complete permission to direct 100% of your undivided attention to one thing at a time. It will also give you the confidence and peace of mind to give your best work and energy to the task at hand, where you'll feel empowered, knowing that you'll be less likely to make errors and compromise your potential for success because you'll be less distracted by looking at other tabs. Now, if you do feel the urge to check your email or switch to another task, just gently stop yourself, breathe deeply, refocus, and get back to the task at hand. Now, the final exercise that will help you practice single-pointed focus is to plan your day ahead with purpose. So by planning your tomorrow each evening, you effectively create your future. All it takes is for you to simply practice taking about 15 minutes each evening to sit in a quiet space without distractions and jot down what you want to do the next day. It seems simple enough, doesn't it? But the benefits far outweigh the simplicity. Because what this requires is that instead of you just writing your to-do list each day or the night before, you must create a because list. This is the reason why you must follow through and focus for the day ahead. The fundamental difference between those who plan to fail and those who plan to get results is that they understand the value in what they choose to focus on. So it means writing your to-do list first, and then next to each task, writing why it actually needs doing. How is it going to help you reach your goal? By creating your why list, you are essentially creating value and giving real meaning for your day ahead. This way, when tomorrow comes around, you can look at your list with enthusiasm and stop any procrastination because you've already justified to yourself why this task is important for you to complete and focus on. And by creating this list the night before, the best part is you've actually slept on it. This is important because when you have slept on the value you place in the action you want to take the next day, you are letting the power of your subconscious mind actually process the decision and clarify the positive direction you want your future to go. It's about reinforcing subconsciously why all those smaller tasks matter to your longer term vision for what you want to achieve. So not only will this one action create clarity of purpose, clarity of direction, and help clarify your decision, it will align your feelings with what you want instead of getting distracted by whatever tries to shift you off course the next day. So the idea here is to buy a nice notepad to do this. I keep a Moleskine, and print off your planner page power sheet to use as a template for writing this list at the end of each day. Now on the day itself, tomorrow, if other things come up, note them on a separate notebook and review this list at a scheduled time. Just take a short note and then get back to do whatever you have allowed yourself to focus on for that particular day. This way you don't get sidetracked, but you also don't forget those other things that you must remember for later. Okay, so there's 3 easy yet powerful ways to practice single-pointed focus. So below this video you've got an awesome power sheet that is a checklist to help you concentrate and stay on track each day. This checklist will help you stay focused and committed to one thing at a time, rather than trying to multitask and weakening your focus in the process. I'd love to hear which of the 3 single-pointed focus techniques works best for you and helps you stay in control of where you place your attention and energy. So download your PDF checklist now to take single-pointed action, and up next you'll learn some surprising insights into how to improve your relationship with your minutes, hours, days and weeks through love of time.